Good, good evening. My name is Jay Moore. I am the CEO of Living Free Enterprises. I'm going to give you guys a background on me, a background on pretty much what this movement is all about, because that's why you're here. I'm going to give you a background on the company that we're working in, the vehicle that's going to take us to freedom. And then I'm going to share with you guys at the very end possibly a way that you can get back with somebody that invited you on this call so that you could possibly hear more or see more about how you could join this movement. So guys, I am a certified public accountant by trade. I've been doing accounting and I've been doing tax preparation for 19 years. I'm sure some of you guys have been doing something for a few years, or might be 10, maybe 5. But I've been an accountant for 19 years. And my story is nothing different than anybody else's story. I'm just a guy, I'm just a kid that grew up in the inner city. I grew up in the inner city of Newark, New Jersey. And if you don't know anything about Newark, what I can tell you is Newark, New Jersey is AKA known as Brick City. Brick City. Brick City because when you come to Newark, at least back in the day, they don't have as many projects, but back in the day, we had so many high-rise projects that when you came in, it was Brick City. That's all you saw. It wasn't like there was a lot of good areas to, to go in Newark, because when you went through Newark, it was just, it wasn't pretty. Newark wasn't a place that you would just want to be in, and that's where I was raised. I lived there 19 wonderful years. 19 years is what is pretty much what the amount of time that we lived there. And had some really good parents, man. My parents were awesome. I'm talking about my parents, blue collar parents. My dad was a factory worker for a long time, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and then she actually became a nurse. But she wasn't a registered nurse. She didn't have her bachelor's degree like some people that I know have. She was just an LPN. She went to school while we were kids, and she was doing that at nighttime, and I remember her studying, and she got her licensed practical nurse certificate, where she started her career in nursing while I was in elementary school. And that job, and coupled with my father's factory job, hey, that paid for 4 kids to go to private school. That's amazing, because all I know is I've only got 2 kids. And if I had to have 4 kids in private school right now, I'm telling you, that would be a struggle. And they did it. But I'm going to tell you, they had faith. They had faith like you can't believe. Just like I'm going to share with you guys what faith is when I kind of get to it. But I'm leading up to my story about really what has happened in my life that led me to this. That led me to starting this movement of living free. So look, I grew up there in private school all my life. What do your parents normally tell you to do? They say, son, daughter. My parents just says, Jay, we just want you to go to school. Finish school. So I finished high school. Finish college if you can. You don't have to go to college, but you should. So I went to college because they knew that, Jay, I didn't have my college degree, but if you could go to college, then maybe you could be the first. And I was the first. I was the first son to graduate. The same year that I graduated college with my accounting degree, my mom graduated with her bachelor's of nursing. That was in 1995. So I got my accounting degree, just like a lot of you guys have degrees. You have degrees and stuff. And I'm going to tell you, the accounting profession is awesome. All I know is that I learned it, and it's been something that I love to do because that's what I chose. And when I finished school, I needed a job. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a job proposal when I got out of school, and I was talking to a good friend of mine. I'm still good friends with him today, and he says, Jay, He said, do you need a job? I said, yes, I need a job. I said, man, so what do I got to do? He says, well, all you got to do, look, man, hold on a second, I got a phone ringing in the background. What he says is that we have, his sister was the director of human resources for one of the largest communication law firms in Washington, D.C. And he says, look, I can call her up and she can probably get you a job. I don't know what kind of job she's going to have for you, but she can probably pull some strings. So she called me up, I sent my resume, she called me, she interviewed me, she says, Jay, I'm going to get you, I got you a job. I said, sure, man. Man, is it going to be in the accounting department? She says, well, I'm not going to be able to get you in the accounting department. But what I can do, I can get you in the mailroom. I had just finished college with my degree, and you know what, I just says, you know what, sometimes you got to start at the bottom. Sometimes you don't start at the top, you start at the bottom. So I did, I started at the bottom, and I took that job, but I knew that I was going places. Because I said, man, I finished college. There's no way, I'm talking about the sky is my limit. And so I'm going to look for an accounting job. I got an accounting job within 2 months. Then I got my job offer. Man, I get the job offer. Man, they said, Jay, we're going to give you a whopping $22,000 a year. This was September of 1995. Can you imagine living on $22,000 today? But what I can tell you is that $40,000 is the new $22,000. That's what it is, because you think about it, gas is $4 and food costs quadruple to what it cost back then. Everything costs more now. So $40,000 is like $22,000. So, but I didn't know better. I just took the job because I was single. I had no family. It was just me. All I had was a little bit of rent that I was splitting. I was like, man, this is cool. $22,000. I can live with that. I'm just going to work. And so I worked that year, and I was at that job for about 9 months, and I get called into the boss's office. She says, Jay, here's your check. I said, man, because it was July 3rd, 1996. There was a holiday coming up. We were going to have a long weekend. I was like, cool. I was like, man, I'll see you. She says, well, before you leave, I got some bad news for you. You are fired. I was like, are you serious? I'm getting fired for what? She was like, well, Jay, you come in at 9:05 and you come in at 10 after. Sometimes you get here at 9:30 and you like talking to the people here. Well, don't I work here? I can't talk to the people that work at the job that I'm at. And I do the work. Yeah, you do the work, but when you come in late out, you're fired. Wow. That's all I said was wow. But you know what? At that moment in my life, I knew that God had something better for me. I said, you know what? That's cool. All right. I didn't give her no fuss. I didn't stand there and curse her out or say bad words. I just left. Went home. I went to church that Saturday, and I was filled up. I was excited because I knew the Lord had something for me. But I didn't know what it was, so I just went ahead, and I was out of work for 1 week, unemployment 1 week, had a job. The following week, I got a raise. Anybody been fired before? I was fired, went from $22,000 to a whopping $28,000. Now I thought I was doing something. But I said, I'm going to do things different at this new job because I'm going to take it more serious. I was there early every day. I was, there late. I would make sure that all of my work was done, and then I was asking to help other people with their work. I was doing everything that was told. I got stellar remarks, stellar performance, performance evaluations every single time. I was there for 3 years. I got a couple of raises, got to about $30,000, and I just was like, man, this is the best job, man. Man, I love my experience. I knew I wasn't making that much money, but sometimes you just need experience, right? That's what they say. If you get experience, then maybe you can make more. And so I bought into that concept. I said, you know what? That's cool. More money, comes with experience. So I just need to get more experience. And after I was at this job for about 2.5 years, it was announced that the company was going to move from Maryland to Philadelphia. I was like, oh, you serious? I didn't really want to go to Philadelphia. I was just like, I said, I like Maryland. But I looked around, I talked to everybody that was there. Nobody was going to go. The whole accounting department, it's about 25 people. The whole accounting department decided that they were all going to leave. They were all going to take the severance package. I looked around and said, this is my opportunity. I can be the manager of the department in the new place. And I was assertive. I went to my boss. I said, hey, would you vouch for me if I go for this manager's job? She says, yes, I would, Jay. You are more than capable. Then I went to the big boss and I said, Mr. Boss, I said, my manager says that she would vouch for me on this job. I want to be considered for the new manager's position. Jay, you know what? Okay, we can consider you. But let's just wait. I'm not going to give it to you now. Let's see how things go. From now until the time we move to Philadelphia, we get up there and we'll see what we got. See, this is where I should have known that this was something wasn't right. But look, I didn't know no better. I trust everybody. At that point, I just was like, cool. You know, I did my job, and, you know, the department moved. And I had to travel back and forth from Maryland to Philadelphia every week. I stayed up there during the week, came back home, and I was doing this for a couple of months. And they hadn't given me this position yet, and I was just like, man, I noticed, I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, well, what's the deal? Then one day, a new guy showed up. This guy named Mike. Mike comes in and he's being introduced to everybody. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, Jay, hey, this is Mike. He's the new accounting department. He's the new accounting manager. What? Can you believe they're introducing me to the new accounting manager? So I'm like, yo, what's going on? I'm like, for sure they're going to make me the supervisor, because they still needed a supervisor. They're going to make me the supervisor. But, you know, I'm just kind of going on. I'm like, all right, cool, all right. So then, now after this, a week later, then a supervisor showed up. That's when I hit the roof. I talked to the boss. He just didn't give me the job. And I'm going to tell you guys, it was prejudice. They did not want the whole department. The whole department was another color. I'm sorry. If you know, hopefully, I'm just saying, man, there's still racism in this country, and it was just prejudice. They didn't give it to me. So I said, fine, all right, that's fine. Can I get my severance package back? So he says, well, you know what? I can't give you what I offered you. They offered me 6 months of pay, and I didn't take it. I'm like, are you serious? Well, what can you give me? Well, I can give you 2 months, but you got to stay 2 more months. I'm like, and you got to train everybody. What? So I got to train these people. I was more qualified, but I got to train these people. Okay, fine. Did it. So my time was coming down. I knew I was going to be leaving soon, and I was disappointed. And one day I was putting my expense report in, and the expense report, you know, I had misplaced, or you know what, I left my receipt. I left my dry cleaning receipt. It was a $12 receipt. I said, you know, I called home. I asked my girlfriend at the time. I said, hey, honey, can you fax me my receipt? I left it over there. She got it. She faxed it. I got off the fax. I said, oh man, you know what? She's got her dress on here. It was $3. I'm like, man, shoot, get this whole $12 back, man. They owe me. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to put the receipt in, because I didn't have to actually give them the receipt. So I took the receipt off, balled it up, put it in the trash, claimed the whole $12. And the next day, come to work, day's going, it's Friday, 3 o'clock come, I went into the manager's office. Hey, you got my check? He said, I sure do. Can you meet me over in HR, please? I met him in HR. I didn't know what was going on. I'm thinking they want to talk about this new position, but nah. He says, Jay, what's up with your expense report? What do you mean what's up with my expense report? He said, you cheated on the expense report. What do you mean I cheated on the expense report? Well, what did I do? He says, well, look at this. Here's your receipt. You had a woman's dress on there, $3, but you put the whole ticket on there. I said, oh. I said, man, can't you just take it off? He was like, no. He said, look, I can't trust you. You're fired. This is my second job. Now I got fired again. Can you imagine how a person would be feeling and thinking that, wow, I just got fired a second time. I know people that have gone into depression after being fired. You know what? I could have went off that day, but I didn't. I looked him in the face. I said, "You're firing me." I said, "You're firing me for real." He says, "You're fired." So I left. I went home, took the long road home. I had to drive all the way from Philly. It was traffic. Went home, went to sleep. Told my girlfriend, she's my wife now. Told her about it. She was sick about it because she was like, "Oh, it's my fault." But she was just like, "Oh my goodness." I said, "No, the Lord got something for me." Because guys, I'm going somewhere with this story. Don't lose me. Because you got to understand the perspective that I'm going to talk about at the very end of this thing. So look, I get fired. I'm down, but I'm not out. I'm on the ground, but I can get up. So I got up. I got up. Took unemployment 1 week. The second week, I got a job. Because remember, opportunities were flooding. Flooding the markets back then. There was an opportunity for everything back then. You didn't have to, you could put an application in at a bunch of places to get multiple job offers. I got a job offer the next week with a raise. Who's getting fired getting raises now? I got a raise. I went from 30,000 to 34,000. Hey, it was 4,000. It was beautiful. I was excited because I was like, wow, another job. I had a little more responsibility, a little bit more money. Still not that much money though. But I was working hard. And somebody was out there looking out for me. Somebody, because remember, the life that we live is not our own. But I was just going through life like a lot of people. But I prayed and I had a little faith. But I didn't have a lot. I had a little bit. But look, somebody had my best interest at heart. So look, I get this next job and then I was able to take that job and go to another job right after that. And I got a job offer for $50,000. This was back in 1998. $50,000 a year base salary for somebody. I think I had about 3 years of experience. That's big time. That's serious. There was no peer of mine making $50,000. Everybody was $30,000, maybe $35,000. When they heard about it, they was like, wow. They was like, wow. Guys, I was so excited. I'm talking about when I got the offer letter, I ran to the jewelry store. I went to K Jewelers in Pentagon City Mall because I used to work at MCI. Pentagon City Mall and got a ring. Spent about $2,500 on a ring for my to-be wife. Proposed that night. Haven't looked back. I was blessed. I was excited. Things was going great. 3 years at this job went from $50,000 to $80,000 with bonuses. I'm talking about it was an amazing ride until because guys, in this economy, people are losing jobs, and they're losing them because of technology. I was working for a technology company. My job was lost because they did what they had to do. They put the internet up, they worked on it, and then they got rid of the people. Period. They got rid of the people. 5,000 people in the United States lost their jobs. I was one. But when I got the pink slip, because I knew it was coming. When I got the pink slip, I had a job on Monday. Pink slip on Thursday, last day on Friday, job on Monday, making the same amount of money. But at this point, I was thinking a little bit different. I was thinking like, wow, I just lost another job. Now, I didn't get fired because of something I did, because I worked hard at that job. But I was like, wow, what if I could own my own business? Like we're going to get into in just a couple seconds. What if I could? So look, here's what happened. I started this job, I left it, and I went cold turkey. Started my own accounting and tax business December of 2001. Haven't looked back. 13 years, with 13 years in, and I'm going to tell you, this has been a journey like no other journey. While I was on this journey, I was blessed to have been able to start a mortgage company, do some real estate, and make, I would say, a lot of good money. I'm talking about $300, $400, $500,000 in some years consecutively. But you know what? Sometimes when you're on that path, you don't always make the right choices. So I can say that I failed a lot. Made money but failed a lot. On the ground but never out. So we got up, guys, and when we had to close down our mortgage company in 2009, I had to basically go back to accounting. I had to take a job for myself. So I did. I took a job and I was working as an accountant in my own business, thank God, for myself, out of my house, no stress, doing decent, you know, decent 6 figures, not a whole lot, decent. But look, here's what happened. I got a phone call just like all of you guys on this call. I got a phone call. This phone call was from a good friend. He says, look, hey Jay, Happy New Year, because it was January of 2012. He says, Jay, Happy New Year. He says, look, man, I need you to take a look at an opportunity. This opportunity can change your life. And you know what, just before he called me, I was thinking some things. I was thinking, well, what can I do different? And, you know, how can I make some more money? How can I leverage people? And how can I get my time back? And he called. So even though I probably wasn't interested, I would have normally turned him away like I have turned people away. I went to a presentation. You know, I didn't come on a call like this. I went to a live meeting, presentation, and I listened to a bus driver from D.C. He drove a bus for 18 years. He was from the inner city, and he said he made a decision to change. And because he made this decision to change, he had made multi-millions of dollars in this opportunity. And I was just, I mean, I was blown away. And I was like, wow, can I do it? I don't know. I don't know if it's possible for me. But you know what? I said, what if? I said, what if I could earn a bonus? What if I can earn an unlimited amount of money on people, on customers all over the country? What if it happened for me? What if? That's all I said. I didn't say what if it didn't. And I didn't say, well, what if I didn't have time? I just said, what if it happened? It didn't cost that much money. I just did a presentation on home-based businesses for a group of about 50 people on Monday night, letting them know that you don't need to spend a lot of money on business. You just need to get involved in one that you can learn how to grow on. This business that we're talking about has birthed a movement. Living free, the living free concept has come out of a decision. Here's what living free is all about, guys. When you consider the time that it takes you to get up, to go to work, to be at work, to get home, to, to eat, to put the, the family to bed, to wake up and to do it over and over and over again every single day, how much time do you really have? None. When you think about family commitments, and when you think about, all of the stuff that you got to do, church, and when you think about, man, I do want to go on vacation, I can get on there a little bit, but man, it costs a lot of money, and man, that's just time, and man, I don't have time. When you consider that, would you want to do something a little bit different to be able to, one, make an unlimited amount of money so that you can, one, have time, money, and then the health at the same time? Would you be interested in something like that? Because look, we found a way. We found a way in a home-based opportunity to be able to do this. And what I can tell you about this opportunity, guys, is that when you get started, when you take a look at this business, the company name is 5 Links Enterprises. You may have heard of them. 5 Links Enterprises has been around for 13 years. 5 Links Enterprises is based in Rochester, New York. 5 Links Enterprises is the #1 company in Rochester, New York. Imagine that. 5 Links Enterprises says that they will treat every representative first. They make sure that this opportunity is catered for you, catered for me, so that one, we could be successful. 5 Links is all about that. 5 Links has been been talked about. They've been written about. They're listed as the as one of the 505,000 fastest growing privately held companies in all of North America. That's the United States and Canada. The Inc. magazine that puts this out there every year, 5 Links, has been there for the past 8 years. 5 Links is being talked about in home-based business magazines. Your Business at Home, Success from Home. These magazines have researched the company. These magazines have basically said that, wow, this opportunity is real. People doing it, they're real. And they're doing it. They're regular people. They're accountants, they're lawyers, they're attorneys, they're IT professionals, they are mortgage bankers and real estate agents. They are bus drivers and then electrical workers and teachers. 5 Links is made up of you and me, people that want more. People that's sick and tired of being sick and tired. This opportunity has changed the landscape of my life. So we have started this movement. Living Free. Living Free will help 500 people this month, and it's early. It's like getting started in a business that nobody knows about. Even though 5 Links has been around, right now nobody knows about this movement. This movement just started on Tuesday, April the 1st. We're going to have 500 business partners start this month. Why don't you be one of them? We're going to have 10,000 business partners get started and be on the course to live free this year. Why don't you get started? This movement will be millions of people in an opportunity. Why wouldn't you want to be in position to make an unlimited amount of money? Just think about the amount of money you make every year. What if you made that every month? 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, $1 million. I'm going to put it out there. That's what this opportunity can do. So look, it doesn't take much. This opportunity costs less than $500, really about $400, maybe $425. Less, that's it. To start a multi-million-dollar business. That's what this opportunity is all about. So look, you're on this call for a reason. This was your time. This is your opportunity. All I can tell you is that the Living Free movement is going to go with or without you. I hope that you will be a part of it. Because if you're a part of it, then that means that you will live free. My name is Jay Moore. I am the CEO of Living Free Enterprises right here in Indian Head, Maryland. I'm a certified public accountant by trade, but I am now living free. And I ask each and every one of you guys to get back with the person that invited you on this call. Ask them what the next step will be. And I look forward to one, working with you. I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to one, being at the beaches of the world and definitely at the bank. My name is Jay Moore. This call is officially over. Thank you so much.